The phone slipped from my hand, clattering against the hardwood floor like a gunshot in the silence of our too-quiet house. My wife's text glowed on the cracked screen. Be home late. Meeting ran over. Love you. But it wasn't her words that burned my chest. It was the notification beneath, a fleeting glimpse from her synced smartwatch, caught before the screen dimmed. Meet me at the usual spot. Can't wait to see you. Sent to a number I didn't know. My pulse thundered in my ears, drowning out the hum of the refrigerator. I stood frozen in our kitchen, the scent of her lavender perfume still lingering from this morning's rushed goodbye. How'd I miss this? How'd I been so blind? I sank into a chair, the wood creaking under my weight, and stared at the phone as if it might confess her secrets. We'd been married 7 years, built a life of late-night talks, shared dreams, and quiet mornings tangled in sheets. Sarah was my anchor, her laughter, her sharp wit, the way she'd hum off-key while cooking. But lately, her warmth had cooled. She'd been distant, her eyes darting away when I asked about her day, her phone always face down. I'd chalked it up to stress, her promotion at the law firm, the long hours. I'd rationalized every red flag, smothering my doubts with love. Now my stomach twisted, a sickening mix of dread and denial. I picked up the phone, hands trembling, and opened her messages. The unknown number had no name, just a string of digits. I scrolled, my breath hitching. You make me feel alive. Sent 2 weeks ago. Miss you already. Last Thursday, when she claimed to be at a client dinner. Each word was a shard of glass, slicing through the trust I'd built around her. I wanted to scream, to hurl the phone against the wall, but instead, I sat there, paralyzed, replaying every moment I might have missed. The late nights, the sudden business trips, the way she'd flinch when I touched her unexpectedly. How'd I let myself believe it was nothing? I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. When she came home, her heels clicking on the floor, she smelled of wine and something unfamiliar, cologne, maybe. Rough day, she said, tossing her bag on the counter, her smile tight. I nodded, my throat too thick to speak, and watched her move through our routine like nothing was wrong. She kissed my cheek, her lips cool, and talked about her case while I stirred pasta, my mind screaming. Who is he? Every word she spoke felt like a lie, each gesture a performance. I wanted to grab her, demand answers, but fear held me back. What if I was wrong? What if I destroyed us over a misunderstanding? Days bled into weeks, and I became a detective in my own marriage. I noticed her habits, the way she'd angle her phone away, the new password on her laptop, the faint scent of that cologne clinging to her coat. I checked her smartwatch when she showered, my heart pounding as I skimmed messages. Meet me at the hotel. You're my escape. Each one was a punch, but I needed proof, something undeniable. I hated myself for it, snooping, doubting, turning into someone I didn't recognize. But the alternative was worse, living a lie. The truth came on a rainy Tuesday, 3 months after that first text. I'd followed her, tailing her car through slick streets to a boutique hotel downtown. The neon sign buzzed, casting a sickly glow over the parking lot. I sat in my car, rain drumming on the roof, watching her slip inside, her trench coat swaying. A man waited at the entrance, tall, sharp-suited, his hand grazing her back as they disappeared into the lobby. My chest caved in, grief and rage colliding. I wanted to storm in, to scream, to break something, but I just sat there, rain blurring my windshield, my hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles whitened. That night, I confronted her. She stood in our living room, her face pale, her arms crossed like a shield. It's not what you think, she said, her voice trembling. But the lies unraveled fast. His name was David, a colleague. It started as drinks, then dinners, then more. I didn't mean for it to happen, she whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the love we'd had, but her words felt hollow. I still love you, she said, reaching for me. I stepped back, her touch burning like betrayal. We divorced quietly, the paperwork slicing our life apart. I moved into a cramped apartment, the walls thin, the air heavy with the ghost of her. I was drowning in heartbreak, replaying every moment I'd failed to see the truth. Then, 3 months later, a letter arrived. My estranged uncle, a recluse I barely knew, had died, leaving me $13 million. The news was a shock, a surreal twist in a life already fractured. I sat on my sagging couch, the letter trembling in my hands, feeling no joy, only a hollow ache. Sarah called the next day. Her voice was soft, familiar, like a song I'd once loved. "I heard about the inheritance," she said, her tone laced with something I couldn't place. Regret, maybe, or calculation. "Can we talk?" She showed up at my apartment, her eyes wide, her hands fidgeting. "I made a mistake," she said, stepping closer, her perfume flooding my senses. "I want us back." My heart stuttered, hope flickering despite everything. But then she mentioned the money, how we could start over, travel, buy the house we dreamed of. Her words were too smooth, too rehearsed. I saw it then, clear as day. She wasn't here for me. She was here for the millions. The realization was a knife, twisting deeper than her affair. "Get out," I said, my voice low, shaking with rage. She froze, her mask slipping, revealing a flicker of desperation. "You don't mean that," she said, but I was done. I pushed past her, opened the door, and watched her leave, her heels echoing in the hallway. Alone, I sank to the floor, the letter crumpled in my fist. The money meant nothing without her, but it wasn't her I'd lost. It was the illusion of her, the lie I'd loved. I'd rebuild, somehow, but the scars would stay, a map of trust shattered and truths uncovered. Outside, the city hummed, indifferent, as I faced a future I'd never imagined. Alone, but finally awake.